Bonjour.
Et bonsoir.
This is our subscriber edition of a Bordeaux wine tasting, and we've got 2 wines to share with you today.
So excited. Are you?
Only you would say that. So we're going to bring out 2 different wines, and we're going to talk a little bit about them. And we have decided to start with wines that are a little more reasonably priced. So we are not going to be drinking wines that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars a bottle. These are going to be very easy to approach with your wine budget.
Here is the wine list for the Bordeaux tasting show. We're gonna start with the Château Larocque 2019, Mouton Cadet, Baron Philippe de Rothschild 2020.
So, what is the first one that we're drinking?
So the first one, as you could have seen earlier on the little image, it's a Château Larocque Bordeaux Supérieur, which is from the year 2019. So this is a bottle that is between $18 to $20. What is amazing about this wine, it's a Bordeaux that is organic, and this has 88 points,
Which is pretty high.
which is
And
pretty
maybe
high.
explain to people what the points mean for people that may not be familiar with what the
Points.
wine points are.
So there is like some organization that taste wine, and those are people that knows about wine, and they taste it and they give a mark, and then following that defines what bottle are the best bottle in a year. So that's
So
what
in
it
a
is.
way, think of it as getting graded on a curve.
Correct.
For
Exactly.
American students know that very well, but it's a way to help you gauge the reviewer's general opinions about where the wine sits between basically 0 and 100 points. So hopefully you're not down at 0.
No, it helps you
You
to
might
know.
you might start at like 75 and up. This one is 88.
So what I can see directly from here, it has a deep red color that we can see it pretty well. It is a Merlot dominant, so it's a blend between Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon. It has a medium body. It's very, very velvety.
Fruit forward? Is this the one that's fruit forward? Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's fruit forward.
Oh.
We can taste some notes of red fruit, licorice, some almond notes. Has a little silky texture, and it has some toasted savory notes. It's interesting.
And maybe we should talk about what an organic wine is in France. What's different between an organically farmed wine and a non-organically farmed wine?
It's considered as a sustainable, which means they don't use any chemicals for the grapes to grow. So sustainable means that everything they use is good and is helping the soil to regenerate easily also.
Yeah, and also the French government does very carefully regulate which wines are allowed to be sold as organic wines, and it's extremely hard to get that classification. So you really have to meet very high standards in France in order to reach the full organic level of harvesting and managing your grapes and growing your grapes. And I know this because I have friends in the champagne industry, and he's probably spent the last 10 years carefully monitoring his fields and going up the level. It's almost like you have to go up levels to be awarded the organic category. So it's quite difficult to get the label. So it's becoming more and more prevalent in France. A lot of people just don't want to drink wines that are not organic. In fact, I've noticed restaurants here in California, there's a big movement for organic wines. So It's not surprising. They're sustainably grown and better for our planet in
And
many
then
ways. So,
this would be the perfect wine for any grilled meat that
oh,
any barbecue
your
that you
very
would
your
do.
very favorite thing, grilled meat.
So it's very interesting because if you look a little bit about the wine, you will see that some people say that you would have to drink it, don't keep it for long. But if you look, it's interesting on the bottles. They say that this wine should be ideally you should drink it within 10 years.
How could it be 15? That's a lot. Wow.
It's very different because
So,
some people believe that you can keep and then
okay.
it would get better with time.
I guess I thought this one we were going to have to drink faster because of the organic status.
Yes, that's what I would have thought
I
too,
would have
because
thought
you
that.
wouldn't
Yes,
keep
I would have thought
as
that.
good in the length of time. But
Oh, that's interesting. Okay,
but
because I thought this wine was one of those ones you have to drink within the
yeah, I
year,
would have
within
thought
the
too.
year, but
Yes.
apparently not. So I guess we should talk about, where and how you store the wines. Of course, there's a lot of information out there about the best way to store your wines. I know that you have to keep them at a certain temperature, it must be consistent, and there's so many lovely little wine refrigerators, anywhere from 12 bottles to 200 bottles, depending on your space, how much space you have in your home or your kitchen, or maybe you have a built-in setup right there in your island, which is nice. I've seen those. I love that. I have a wine refrigerator that I love. It tucks right into my place here and it's perfect and it keeps the same temperature for, a consistent time. And I
And I,
guess we could talk about when you take your wine, like a Bordeaux, out of the wine fridge.
I think we should
What do you do after that?
we should
What's,
let it breathe like
yeah.
at least 15 to 20 minutes. It gets better because it's been in the bottle for quite a while, 2019 year. So we already about 7 years, in
Yeah,
fact.
it's already been, yeah.
And since the process of putting in the fermentation and everything about the wine, this bottle you wouldn't get it before 2 years, nearly a year and a half to 2 years after the year.
Mm.
So let's
Hmm.
say this is a 2019. It would have been available mid 2020 and maybe early 2021. So it's interesting, but what you need to do is we say normally for the Bordeaux to have it to room temperature. But I know some people that would love to put it under ice. It's very interesting that there are
I
different
don't,
schools.
that's not my school.
No, they won't put ice
I'm not in
into
the
it.
ice and the wine.
They won't put ice into it. They will just make it a little bit fresher than room temperature.
Hmm.
That's what they will
It's
try.
definitely a preference.
But
Mm.
really, I would let it more breathe before tasting because his body is gonna be even stronger. And I think the taste note's gonna
Of
come.
course, it's opening up in the little
It
glass.
it
We're just
is.
using our little wine tasting glasses. Obviously, this is the kind of wine. Get yourself one of those lovely, big, wide mouth, beautiful Bordeaux, stemmed or unstemmed wine glasses with a nice, generous bowl, which I think helps to open the wine up, of
Yeah, it
course, as
does.
well. So, when in doubt, go to a restaurant and see what kind of glasses they're using in the restaurant. And that tells you a lot, especially if the restaurant has a wine expert. They'll be putting on your table in front of you, of course, the exact type of glass that you should have to drink a Bordeaux.
Was it someone that advised you this one?
Oh, yes, this one comes to me from Andrew's Cheese Shop, which is a lovely, tiny little shop. It's here in Santa Monica, and Andrew is a wonderful guy, and he's very good about, not only collecting and amassing this beautiful collection of cheeses, but he also has a little wine section, and this was recommended to me as a great wine for the price. And, I wanted a Bordeaux that had a nice smooth finish and a velvety texture. And I have to say, they were right about that, because
Yeah.
it definitely is nice. So if you're ever in Los Angeles and you want to come into the Santa Monica area, Andrew's Cheese Shop is a place to go.
and ask about that wine.
And you can ask about that one, and of course, they have a very nice selection of Bordeaux's as well there.
So this one was a Château Larocque,
Chateau
Bordeaux
Larocque,
Supérieur,
mhm,
2019, 2019.
and very affordable, as
And
we've
very
mentioned.
affordable, between $18 to $20 a bottle.
Mhm. Yeah, it's nice. It's getting better in the glass too.
I think it will even, if you let it even more, it's
Even
gonna be
more?
better.
I just wanna drink it. It's so delicious.
Of course you wanna drink it.
So,
So should
okay,
we
good.
move to
Yes,
another tasting?
let's go to our second wine for the show, where we try to focus on 1 or 2 or 3. We don't like to bombard you with too many wines at once. So this is our second wine coming up.
Which is Mouton Cadet, which is a 2020 Baron Philippe de Rothschild. So it's gonna be interesting. It's another Bordeaux where the price range is $22 to $24 a bottle. Let me serve you.
Thank you.
Oh, we hear you
Perfect.
perfectly the sounds of the
Mm.
wine getting in the glass. It has a very deep ruby red
Yeah, it's
color,
another very deep, beautiful red color.
as you can see.
And of course, we've dropped a big name, Rothschilds, who
Rothschild,
should
yes.
probably talk about that a little bit.
Well, the the two biggest wine were Chateau Lafite and Chateau Latour, and Chateau Lafite was also done from the Rothschild family, so they have carried on the doing wine in the family as a
And
business.
obviously, some of the greatest wines in the world, most of them which are fairly untouchable unless you are a big wine investor. And if you're not, this is a great one to drink because, again, very affordable, very enjoyable. And it does have what's the word? The brand name of the
Of
Rothschild
the
brand.
Rothschild, yeah.
So they'll be very carefully, um,
Should I say Rothschild or Rothschild?
Roth. I don't know. I think it might be Rothschild. I don't know. I've always said Rothschild. Anyway, someone can tell us in the comments if we're right
Yes,
about that.
feel free, put some
But,
comments under.
and of course, if you know the history of the family, there's a big chateau, a beautiful building. They have buildings all over the world, but the one they have in France actually is filled with a very famous art collection. So you can visit that chateau and you can actually see the art collection there. Special invitation, I believe, only. I don't think it's open to the public, but there is an amazing art collection
I've
because
never been there, not
the
yet.
Rothschild family has a very extensive art collection. So that's kind of what's interesting there. And well, what do we think about this? Is it opening up in the glass a little bit? Or how do we feel about
So
this?
it's also medium body as the previous one. Strong notes of fruit as well. Very interesting because the other one had that too. This one is more like blackcurrant, dark chocolates notes.
I feel like
Um,
this is a deeper wine. It's
yeah,
much
red.
deeper and richer. It's
It is deep
really,
red,
I
ruby
mean,
red.
it
Yeah,
feels like a really, honestly, sort of a drop dead Bordeaux, meaning it's just a classic wine all the way around.
and yeah, and you
If you
can
think of
drink.
a Bordeaux wine, this
This
is the
is the
one.
one.
This
Yeah.
is the one. It's
Perfect for
very
grilled
classic.
food. Perfect for grilled food. He
Well,
has those,
steak and meats,
yeah,
roasts, lamb, wonderful for
burger.
roasted lamb,
Yeah.
lamb chops. If
Oh
you're
yeah,
into
with lamb
meat, if you're
chops. Oh
not
my
into
God.
meat, we'll have to think of something for the vegetarians out
Yes,
there if
we
they
will
want to
have.
drink this. Well, of course, if you are a cheese person, it's lovely for some particularly, I'm going to say French stinky cheeses.
I mean, cheese. Cheese can be eaten with a lot of wine. This is really good too. I think it needs more time to breathe.
In the glass, yeah.
Um,
It's very, very rich, but it does have to open up more, I
So
think.
what is interesting is this one is the year 2020, if I'm not wrong. It's a 2020. So must have been available for people to purchase in during the year 2021. too.
Do you mean it's a pandemic wine? It's the miracle of the pandemic?
It was just before
Probably just
everything just
released before
released,
the world stopped
and
and you couldn't get anything, imported in.
and then the story is that this one, they say the best would be to drink in 2026 or 2027.
Okay, well, good
So
news.
good news, we
Good
had
news, we're opening this
26,
bottle up at the right time.
but they don't say it how long you could keep it. It's always a lottery. I know my dad was keeping bottle for 20 years. I still had a bottle of my year of birth.
You do? Well, see,
Yes.
there's one of those stories
So
from that summertime
I would suggest you buy a few bottles from the year of birth and then offer them the bottle later on.
on there. Well, there you go. With
Yes,
the Bordeaux, you can do that because it's really designed to spend a little time carefully curated in its little time capsule. It's
correct.
like a time capsule wine. Yes,
But
it's different than other wines that we're going to try that you have to drink more quickly.
very important, if you want to store those, you never store them vertically. And there's a
Yes,
reason, because
absolutely.
the air will stay between the wine and the cork. What you want is the bottle to be flat, on horizontal, for a reason,
Not at an
because
angle like champagne, but definitely horizontal.
horizontal, so
Okay.
that the bubble is at the bottom of the bottle and not in between the cork and the wine, because when you have that space with air
That's
between the cork,
dangerous.
that's what's making the wine gets bad and start tasting cork. That's why
Mm.
you'll see some people resending the wine back to the kitchen in
Oh,
restaurant. It's because
yes.
they
Because they
taste.
didn't carefully manage how that wine was stored.
Could be, and
Mhm.
sometimes some corks with the time are not holding
They
as
do.
good.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. Wine corks. I think there's only one country in the world that makes the exact wine cork for French wines.
I mean,
There's something for our Substack page, folks.
there's
If
all a
you've joined
discussion
us from
about the cork.
Substack,
Yeah.
we'll have to put that in as a fun fact because I believe there's only one country in the whole world that makes corks for wine.
So you have
Maybe
cork.
it's in Spain. It might be in Spain, I think.
You have cork that are made of wax. That's what they're using lately in some new winery,
Hmm.
to hope that they don't get the issue of the cork,
Okay.
but it doesn't age as well. Then you have the bottle that just have no cork, which means it's quick usage, which is just like the one that you twist and you remove the cap. And then you still have the normal cork, and oh yeah, I was gonna say something else about Chile wine, but that's
No,
another
we're not in
story.
Chile
We're
yet.
not in Chile, so I'm
We're
not
staying
bringing
pretty
that.
much in France. We might
So
venture over to Italy, and definitely we'll be doing California. But
yes,
especially for everyone that's not living in California, we just decided the other day that we thought, well, we should probably do California wines too, in
yes,
case you want to know more about those. So, because I grew up in California and my parents were big wine drinkers and European traveler types. And so I sort of grew up on both the French wines and really the classic California wines, back in the day.
and I
So,
grew up only on French
only
wine,
on French wine,
and
yes.
then I discovered Chile, South Africa,
New
Argentina,
Zealand.
New Zealand, and now California.
Yeah, he's late to the party in
since 15
California, but
years,
that's okay.
California.
We do what we can.
Yes, I agree. But yes, there's a full tradition about making the wine the right way in France, and they've been strong about that, because some country age the wine by putting wood pieces
Yes.
into the wine to
So
make them age quicker.
they're trying to fake the oak barrel flavor.
Correct, the oak
Yes.
barrel flavor, and
So
France is always stay
No.
standing on
They're
that
they're
and
regulating that because that was happening. Other countries were trying to import those wines into France, and they just block them at the gate. They don't even let them in, so
yeah,
and, well, they should be that picky because that kind of wine floods the market, and it really ruins, the brand of, and the quality, of French wines. So the Old World wines are French wines, and
correct.
California wines are considered New World
You
wines, if you can believe that. And so
But the very interesting thing is that
so
a lot of people in California buy the roots of the grapes from France,
yes,
and then they
that's
make it
true.
grow here because the weather,
They
yes,
graft them onto the new yes.
and they sign agreement not to reproduce the roots of those grapes, so that it's always those grape from
Well,
France
they
that
can
comes
they
here.
control that
They
very
control,
carefully.
yeah,
Well, there is a story about this. Many of you may not know, but back in the was it after World War II? We had California had a big wine blight, and it went through and destroyed all of the vines all over California. And I will put this in my
oh, I
Substack
didn't
because
know
that's
about
a whole
that.
story.
Interesting.
One of the reasons why California wines not only have this history and tradition and linking to France, it's because the French people, the winemakers, came to California and worked with California vintners who had lost their crops.
Uh,
And they did that because, of course, Americans and our soldiers in World War I and World War II went to France, of course, to help
and save
with
them
and saved France. And so the French people really rose to the challenge and they came to California
as a thank you.
as a thank you to help regrow and
Regrow.
revive the California wine industry. So many people didn't believe that California wine could equal a French wine, but that has been disproven. There's a very famous story about that, which I will happily put on my Substack if you are not aware of that story. It's a great story.
Yeah, it's a great. I can't wait to read it.
Yes. So we'll have that out there for you this coming week, and I'll write it up and give you some of the links. And of course, I want to mention that this wine came from a store, again, here in Santa Monica, Bottled Poetry. So this is from my nice friends over there at Bottled Poetry. Again, if you are ever here in Los Angeles, they're lovely there. We're down here by the beach. We're very close to the beach. And so this particular store was where we were able to get this particular wine. And actually, this wine is available many places. It's not an uncommon wine. So you should be able to get this wine pretty much wherever you can purchase Bordeaux wines,
Yeah, Mouton Cadet,
across the
Bordeaux.
country. And obviously some states have state liquor stores. I know that different places do have that. And so that might be a little different, but also you probably can order this from a wine distributor online, of course. There are many wine distributors that handle the whole continental United States, and this will be available there. And I personally like to go to my local places because I like to support small
I
businesses.
like that too. That's
Because
what
I
we
feel
should
like
do.
they're really struggling now, small businesses. And so I like to support those, and
I
that's
do
where this
agree.
one
That's what
came
we
from.
should all do. So the Mouton Cadet here, Baron Philippe de
Mm,
Rothschild, 2020. Very interesting.
it's very much getting smoother in the glass.
Did you try to compare with
It's
the other one?
opening up a little bit. Yeah, I'm wondering, okay, so this is the first one, and now this is the second one.
It's opening up. We can feel the difference. You feel that this one is
Mhm,
opening, and I think this one will do too.
yeah.
So I really
Do
advise
I
you,
get to pick my favorite?
you get to pick which one is your
And then
favorite.
you can pick.
Yes,
I think I like the Baron Rothschild better.
prefer.
I feel like it has a smoother finish, but that's just me. So you all should definitely try one and tell us what you think. If you are able to get your hands on any of these bottles, again, in the lower price point, we'd love to hear your comments. And please subscribe, give us your comments, and I will put a little note up on Substack and give you some more detailed information about both of these wines.
If you
So,
try it too, let us know which one you preferred
yeah.
because we want to hear about what you think. And for me, I'm gonna reserve myself for the 2 other bottles
Oh, okay, because
to
he's going up the price point level here.
because
He's
I want to
zooming
taste.
up to the.
I want to taste the other before giving you
Okay,
my point of view.
okay, there you go.
But we will still ask
Yes.
your point of view at the end.
Well, it's okay, but this is, after all, Antoine, the French guy.
Yes.
Reputation precedes you, I'm afraid.
Oh yes, in a good way.
Thank you so much for joining us for our part 1 of the Bordeaux wine tasting episode.
Yeah, thank you for being there. Now we're gonna go soon in a part 2.
And we're going to have more wines from the Bordeaux region for you to try along with us.
Lucky you.
So like and subscribe and join us on Substack or your favorite podcast channel. And we'll see you at the cafe.
See you at the
Au
cafe.
revoir.
Au revoir.
À bientôt.